It was a calm afternoon in Seabreeze City when Shawna noticed something strange. The wind outside was blowing harder than ever. Trees bent in the wind, leaves danced wildly, and dark clouds covered the sky like a big, spooky blanket. It felt like something huge was coming. Suddenly, a loud beep echoed from the TV, followed by a flashing message. Hurricane Howler is on its way. Everyone needs to prepare. Shawna's mom, Miss Johnson, rushed into the room, her face serious. Shawna, we have to get ready. Hurricanes are no joke. This storm is big. Shawna blinked. What's a hurricane, Mom? Johnson knelt down and said, a hurricane is a powerful storm that forms over warm ocean water. It brings super strong winds and lots of rain. This one is called Hurricane Howler, and it's a Category 4. That means its winds could reach up to 156 miles per hour. We need to prepare and stay safe. Shawna's eyes grew wide. What should we do? Step 1. Preparing for the storm. Ms. Johnson handed Shawna a flashlight. First, let's make sure we have everything we need. Go get our emergency kit. Shawna dashed to the closet and grabbed the big emergency kit. It had flashlights, batteries, a first aid kit, and bottled water. Ms. Johnson nodded approvingly. Good. Now we need some food that doesn't need cooking, blankets, and important documents. Let's also fill the bathtub with water in case the power goes out. Shawna helped gather canned food and blankets while her mom covered the windows with tape and boards. They taped the windows to keep them from breaking if the winds got too strong. Why are we filling the bathtub with water? Shawna asked. In case the storm cuts off our water supply, Ms. Johnson explained. And we also need to be careful about something called a storm surge. Shawna tilted her head. What's that? Ms. Johnson pointed to the TV, where the news was showing giant waves crashing onto the beach. A storm surge happens when the ocean rises and floods the land. It's one of the most dangerous parts of a hurricane, especially for people near the coast. Shawna's jaw dropped. Wow, that sounds scary. Ms. Johnson nodded. That's why people near the water are being told to leave their homes right now. But don't worry, we're prepared. Step 2. Listening to instructions. As they finished getting ready, the wind outside started to howl like a giant wolf. The trees were swaying, and the rain began hitting the windows hard. The mayor came on the TV and said, Everyone, stay inside and move to higher ground if you live near the water. Stay safe. Shawna looked at her mom. What if we don't listen? Ms. Johnson shook her head. People who don't listen to warnings can get hurt by flying debris, flooding, or even trapped inside their homes. That's why we always follow instructions. Just then, the lights flickered. Shawna quickly plugged in the last flashlight, and suddenly the house went dark. Step 3. Staying calm and safe. It's okay. We were ready for this, Ms. Johnson said as she turned on a flashlight. Shawna clutched her flashlight and felt a little braver. But outside, the wind was howling even louder, shaking the house. Shawna heard a tapping sound on the window and froze in place. It's just the branches, Ms. Johnson said with a comforting smile. The storm sounds scary, but we're safe in here. The rain pounded on the roof like a drum, and Shawna's heart raced. But her mom was calm, and she remembered that they had prepared for this moment. They had everything they needed to stay safe. Ms. Johnson guided Shawna to the safest part of the house, a small hallway far from the windows and doors. They sat down and listened to the radio for updates. The radio crackled as a voice said, Hurricane Howler's winds have reached 140 miles per hour. Stay indoors and watch out for flash flooding. Shawna was amazed. That's super strong. I didn't know hurricanes could be that powerful. Ms. Johnson nodded. The strongest hurricane ever was Hurricane Patricia in 2015, with winds of 215 miles per hour. But no matter how strong the storm, we can stay safe by being prepared. Step 4. After the storm. Hours passed, and the wind finally began to calm down. The rain slowed to a light drizzle, and the sky brightened. When Shawna and her mom stepped outside, the neighborhood looked very different. Trees had fallen, branches were everywhere, and puddles covered the streets. But their house was safe, and so were they. Ms. Johnson smiled at Shawna. "We did it. We stayed safe because we were prepared, we listened to the warnings, and we stayed calm." Shawna looked around and saw her neighbor, Mr. Jenkins, struggling to move a fallen tree from his yard. "Can I help him?" Shawna asked. Ms. Johnson nodded. "After a storm, it's important to help our neighbors and check for any damage. Let's go give him a hand." As Shawna helped Mr. Jenkins move the tree, she realized how important it was to be ready for a hurricane. Knowing how to prepare made all the difference. And now, she knew just what to do if Hurricane Howler ever returned.